We're gonna get a little different side of the trip tonight. We're inside the RV, aka the Sag Wagon,
Who's gourmet medium rare?
where we stay every night. And over here we have the driver, Dennis Barnum.
Our first driver.
And you may think that driving from the starting location to the end location would be simple, but it's not.
Dennis, I'd
The
like to award
riders-
you this coffee.
The riders have all the glory. I mean, the whole focus of the team is to get them on their way and get them out of here. And they all do a great job working together, helping each other, getting everything set up, and replacing tires and aligning brakes and things like that. And they got tools flying this way and bungee cords going that way and dirty socks this way and gloves that way, and boom, at the beginning of the day they're off. And somehow or other, all this stuff gets back in the RV, in the little cubby holes, in the little compartments, and all this stuff gets in Tiggy, and it arrives at their first break point, where the first person breaks down on schedule, and someone's got to be there for him. Now, who's going to be there for him? Sport driver. That's your job. You live for those moments when you get that call. You got that cell phone waiting to hum in your pocket, and all of a sudden you feel that vibration. You don't know if it's as good as sex or not, but I'm sure you're going to answer it. And sure enough, yes, I got a flat tire. Yes, ka-ching, ka-ching, I'm in business. Get it in gear. Let's get going. Never mind that I just took my chair out. I just put my chair out. I just put my suntan lotion on. I got my hat out. I got my book out. And I'm up to the part in the story where they're forging a sword from bright steel, which is a special kind of steel that flies down from the heavens and is very rare. But that's what you need if you're a dragon rider and you have to make your sword. Anyway, it's getting ready to make the sword, and boom, off I go. So, there I go, off, and as I get there, I'm warmed to the sight of grease all over the hands and tires off and extra valve stems and this and that all over the place. So we make our first rescue and then go on from there. Don't forget about lunch. Lunch is a very important part of the day. And don't be late. But don't be too early, because if you're too early, then you got to backtrack. And there is no backtracking on this trip. So
From now on.
from now on, no backtracking. And sometimes you find bullets. And I have no idea what caliber bullet this is, but it's a pretty heavy gauge. But anyway, find bullets. You get an opportunity to go rock hunting. So I went in, I found this gully called Quartz Vein Gully, and wandered up Quartz Vein Gully, and sure enough, there was a lot of quartz rocks that were in there. And I just happened to bring a sample of Quartz Vein Gully back, and I brought enough for everybody to make sure they have some. So you have your quartz rock, and now in your quartz rock you have some very interesting mineralization accompanying the quartz, just to add a little flavor to it. And then you have your granite base of the rock, but you have your quartzes in there too. So here's another one, a nice little mineral texture to it. So part of the driver's life is to find things to fill the vacancy between the calls. And on the second day, it was kind of interesting because everything was going good, and I got to move ahead, and I found this beautiful desert valley with Tamarisk Grove campground, showers, toilets, perfectly flat campground, warm, sunny day, nice breeze blowing through, very consistent breeze. Pull in and look around, and there's nature hikes and everything on this thing, so just wait for the guys to call. Wait for the guys to call. Check your cell phone. No signal. Uh-oh, no signal. What am I going to do? The plan A is When they call, you go. What's plan B? There was never any discussion of plan B. I know what plan B is. Plan B is I'll wait until 0600, and if nobody calls, I'll have to start the backtrack and find them. At 5:50, a state police car comes by, and I said, and he asked me what I was doing, hanging out on the side of the road, if I was okay, and I said I was okay. Then I asked him, by the way, did you see any bicyclists coming down the road? And he said, well, no, I came all the way down from S2 and I didn't see anybody, but there's a lot of nasty weather up the hill. And he said, you may want to backtrack up there. So I started backtracking up there, went the first 4 or 5 miles and nothing. And I hit the big Banner grade and started my way up Banner grade, threading the road, and then wondering if they're stuck in a gully somewhere or careened off the road or maybe huddled in a corner, holding each other together for warmth as the cold, misty rain and wind howls through the gullies. But they're big boys. I figured they could take care of themselves. But I really was worried that they were suffering in the elements and close to death, and I better hurry up and get up there. So I make it to the top of Banner grade, and I look at the needle of the gas tank, and it's like a quarter, so I figure I better get some gas. So I filled up with gas, and as I reached into my pocket, I noticed I have a signal on my cell phone because I'm on top of the mountain, and sure enough, there's a text message. I never ever got a text message in my life. This was my first text message I ever got on a cell phone, and it says, "We are at Margaritas," and I said, "Oh, I guess they weren't suffering from the elements that bad. A place called Margaritas. Oh my God, what a hardship they're enduring." So I called them back, and sure enough, they were at Margaritas eating enchiladas and tacos and all kinds of other stuff, and some liquid nourishment too. And we were reunited once again, and
lived happily ever after.
Happily ever after. Thank you.
Oh, man.